Today we are playing Pain Warlock, and the really cool thing about this deck is it's much more board-centric than its Quest Wild counterpart, in which you usually ramp it up and then you eventually do that self-damage to the opponent. It's got a lot of the same strong standard cards. You know, you have stuff like Mass Production, which is going to be very cool in this deck. You have staples that have been around forever like Flame Imp, but more importantly, you have some new tools that I'm going to go over. You have stuff like Party Fiend, where you summon, you know, a couple more tokens on the board, deal 3 to yourself. You have stuff like Curse Souvenir, where you get +3/+3 to a minion who's going to keep self-damaging you, which you'll want for some of these other triggers. And then you have stuff, of course, like the Party Planner, Vona. They're going to be very integral here. It's going to be very easy to deal 8 damage to yourself in a turn. You know, we have stuff like the Treant, where you get 5 damage right there, right? You pair it with something else, suddenly you can summon that pretty quickly. You have the good old staples of the Imprisoned Horror and Molten Giant, where you want to get really low really quickly. You can throw something like a Zilliax on as well once the board is full and it's very cheap. Buff everything else, go for a finish. And if you ever need to stabilize, you have stuff like INFERNAL. You know, it's very strong, a taunt. It's a 6/6 body. And since you're going to be lower than 20 health almost all the time, I like the Sheriff inclusion as well.
My elements are frightful. Your soul shall be mine.
And as you can see, Blood Treant, very good to have. I would say I'd keep this more times than not. These other guys, you know, we want to draw into them, but they're not too great in this opening hand. And Trolley Problem, this is one that I've kind of gone back and forth on, but overall, I think we need like stuff like Flame Imp and Party Fiend early on. Even Geode's really good here. So, and Mass Production, that's a great draw as well. So I'm very happy with how this turned out. Alright, we're going to start simple here. We're just going to cycle this, draw 2 cards. And we already got one of our Imprisoned Horrors, so that's good to see. We are going second, so we have the coin as well, so we can kind of cheese out a pretty big turn pretty quickly. And one thing to keep in mind, this is at the start of your turn, so you might never even be dealt the damage if you go for the finisher with that Curse Souvenir. So keep that in mind too. I say that we slap this down, we buff it, and that's a pretty strong threat for the opponent to deal with. Let's see if they have an answer. Looks like they're doing Pirate Shaman, so just keep that in mind. This Rook has a pretty good battle cry too as well. You know, it's a strong body. It's able to deal 5 damage to you quickly. Alright, and as you can see, we don't even get the trigger. So it's one of those things where it's nice when it happens, and it's nice when you don't get punished for it either. That was a strong body we didn't have to worry about. We're gonna go here, and just might as well slap that down. And we have the Infernal to bring us back to 15 if they bring us even lower. So that's gonna be very strong. We'll probably get Molten Giant off next turn as well. This is a very high risk, high reward style deck. So you're getting low pretty quickly. I think the best route here. Shuffle this into your deck. I think we already have a pretty strong board state, so. I know we weren't able to get those Molten Giants off, but we need the body in the way so they don't burst us down from like 9. Next turn we can either buff this, Trolley Problem, you know, we don't even have to discard a lowest cost spell if it's not available to us, so that's going to be good too. They hex the body, that's fine, but I got the heal off. Let's cycle here, make our Molten Giant a little cheaper. And I would actually prefer to throw these down now. I'm trading on the board to make it a little bit safer. Next turn, we're a pretty dangerous threat pretty quickly, so... I wanted to show this off, but you can't beat 2 Molten Giants, right? See, that's a lot of damage there, but it's not enough to put us out of our misery. And that's an easy win with what we have on board there. So as you can see, high risk, high reward.
You will know endless torment. Your soul shall be mine.
Alright, this is actually an example of a draw where I don't really have any complaints. I got Party Fiend, I got Flame Imp, I got Rook for a pretty strong turn 3, and Mass Production is great cycle to keep. So I'm actually going to keep all 4 of these. And, you know, with Fiend, we should be able to get a pretty cheap Zilliax if everything goes according to plan. Turn 2, I'm kind of leaning towards Mass Production and Party Fiend, but we'll see. Alright, let's summon these minions. Zilliax gets pretty cheap, but not quite enough to play. So we're just going to go face. You can even coin Spirit Bomb here if we really think that's a threat, but overall I don't mind keeping that on the board. We want more minions, not less, and if they trade, that's fine for us, as they'll do here. This wouldn't be a bad turn to do together, but I'm just going to play the tempo play. And if they get me really low, Infernal's already in the range where it starts healing instead of hurting you, so that's cool to see.
You have earned an eternity of torment.
And another Fiend would be here, would be great here. And actually, my prayers go answered, it looks like. I don't have room to play a minion because I really wanted to do this, do coin. You know, it feels bad to do here, but I guess we're just going to go face anyways, and let's do this. They shouldn't have enough where they can actually kill us, and we trend lethal next turn, so that's kind of the ideal situation for us. A lot of this is just playing, you know, with a low health total. And yeah, the best you can throw out right now is something to trade the Zilliax, it looks like, which is a good target.
A pathetic play.
We can coin here, actually. I would personally life tap Infernal with that 6 mana. See, because what we can do here, actually, that turns out even better. I was hoping to fish for something, and I got it. I wasn't sure if it was going to be the Horror or if it was going to be the Molten Giant, but the odds weren't too bad of something like that happening. So now we're back to 15 health. We've completely stabilized, and we should win this board state. I wouldn't be surprised if they concede here. Alright, we can take out the Molten Giant as well. We still have lethal on board. Yeah, I was going to say, that wasn't an answer. And easy one.
Set sail for glory!
Your soul
So we got the
shall be
Geode
mine.
here, which is a good start. Trolley Problem, like I said, it's better when you can get the quick draw. I don't want to keep Zilliax in case we get the Fiend, which would be nice here. We already got the turn 2 play, and we got a coin. And we have a turn 1 play in mass production. As you could see in the previous game, we got a little too greedy and we had kind of a self-inflicted loss. So we're going to try to dial it back a little bit, knowing that Rogue can deal a lot more damage from hand than maybe some other classes. And that's something to keep in mind when playing this deck. So, even better draw. We got Flame Imp. We can always throw in a mass production, you know, use coin to cycle it, or just do it when we have like an awkward mana turn play. But Flame Imp into Geode is probably the best case scenario for you in most of these matchups to establish early board dominance. And then of course getting like Fiend and Zilliax paired up is really nice too, in terms of your early game. We're just going to keep saying stuff until it becomes true, because it seems like we're very quickly getting in a good spot. As you can see, this is already free. We might be able to throw down Zilliax as soon as next turn for free, if things go really well, or just even for the 3 mana is probably worth it, just for the board state we're at. Alright, play some damage from hand. And is this worth doing? I would actually say so. So we could do Geode here. Could even do the bomb, but I think it might be worth, just for the sake of doing it. Let's throw down this Zilliax. And let's go face, because even if they use the weapon to trade in the Zilliax, I'd rather deal that 3 damage and make them whiff this guy too, and just completely win the board outright than, you know, to do some trades early on my end.
Shiny, my shiny.
Alright, from another class, cost 3 or less. It could, you know, bail them out here, but it really is just a matter of what is in standard right now. That would be a strong answer. Alright, it looks like they're going to opt for just putting more minions on the board. Whatever they discovered is not something that's an outright board clear, at least probably right now. And we have Infernal if we ever want to stabilize. We're at 21 health. Alright, I guess 20 health. They had to correct me if that swing. Not too strong right now, Patches. Sorry about that. So we're going to be a little greedy here. We can go down to 12. We might get something really good. Overall, though, this should not put us into range of anything lethal. They could have got something interesting from Discover, but it's not going to be like a fireball or something, I would think. And even then, mana-wise, I don't think they have enough burn from hand with the 2 damage they have on board. And if I'm wrong, I guess we lose. If not, I'll get low and I'll throw down the Infernal, put us at 15, and we're even safer than we were. They can trade here, but what does that give them?
Shiny, my shiny.
All right, that looks like a Hail Mary play to me if I've seen one, and I don't think they got it again.
Smart move.
All right, and again, we played a tight game, and we were able to win without getting ourselves so low that they can burn us from hand.
Watch your back.
Your soul shall be mine.
And we're just going to play one last one here just to really lock in the idea of this deck. Again, Flame Imp is a great keep. Imprisoned Horror is okay if we can burn stuff early on and get them out for free on turns like 3 or 4, but it's ideal to top deck it as opposed to just getting in or starting right here. And Zilliax is reliant on how much their board state is as much as it is for us. I kind of want to get a good Flamejuggler turn off, but we haven't had a great opportunity to yet. Alright, they're going to play out the coin.
Shiny, my shiny.
Choose soon.
Alright, we're going to go face here. We're going to make him make the trade. Just because we want to have as much pressure as we can for this matchup. Because we never know when they're going to get something high value from their steals. Something like Spirit Bomb here too is better than me trading. So get that scenario, which is great here. Now I can do something like this, where then I get this for free. And now we get the Flamejuggler out, and, you know, 2 mana 5/5, pretty solid. And Party Fiend and the Zilliax will be a strong next turn. If they play anything to help discount it, that's great, but I believe we can play it as is with the board state we have. Even if they trade into the Flame Imp here, or okay, go face. They probably know that we burn stuff, so, you know, we gotta keep that in mind. We got this. That's 2 mana. The question is, do they have an answer to this?
I do.
And the answer is no. So again, we played this well, and we made sure not to put ourselves into our own burn range, flooded the board, and won. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope you guys like this video. I'm going to be doing more guides like this in the very near future, so stay tuned.